I'd be willing to bet $1,000 that you probably are totally unaware of what I am going to share with you in this upcoming video about the pros and cons of living in Boise at night. I'd be willing to bet $100 that you probably know there's some really unique things about living in Alaska as far as the seasons, the sunrise, and sunset. Well, Idaho and Alaska might be more similar than you realize. So stay tuned, and I'm going to teach you everything there is that you need to know all about the nights here in the Treasure Valley, Idaho. So let's get after it right now. My name's Rachel, and on this channel, I do my very best to teach you everything there is about working, playing, and living in the Treasure Valley, Idaho. So if you need me to be your eyes and your ears and teach you everything you need to know about relocating to beautiful Treasure Valley, Idaho, then go ahead and tap the subscribe button and click this little bell. That way you never miss one of my videos on living in Idaho. Also, I'm a licensed realtor and local investor here. As much as I enjoy making these videos and teaching you everything there is about my beautiful state, I love helping people relocate here even more. So don't hesitate. If you have any questions or you need any help relocating to Idaho, give me a call, shoot me a text, or write me an email. With no further ado, my pros and cons of living in Idaho, nighttime edition. I am super excited to teach you everything you need to know about the nights here in Idaho. There's not a ton to say, but there's some pretty significant things that you definitely need to know if you are planning on moving here to help you decide whether or not this is really the place for you to call home. Before I jump in, I just have one really special thing to share. I'm sure you've heard all of the rumors, and I've addressed some of those rumors about how the state of Idaho is going through a Californication and that we're turning into California because of everyone who's moved into the state. And while there are some very tiny things that I would say are true because of all of the people moving here that have changed, whether they're positive or negative. In general, Idaho is still Idaho. And in an effort to help keep this community what we all know and love it to be, I, along with my team, am implementing a new give back program. This channel and our business have seen a lot of success, and with all of the moving here, we want to keep Idaho just as much as you guys do. So we have selected 3 foundations, all of which I am extremely familiar with, either because I have volunteered with them, I've already donated money to them, participated in events, held events. A couple of them, I have friends near and dear to me that are on the boards. And all of these foundations represent maintaining our state or protecting people in our state in various fashions. And so with each and every closing that comes in from the channel, we will be donating money on your behalf to one of these 3. I'll throw them up here. Foundations. One of them helps maintain our freedoms here in the state. One helps protect our kiddos and their education. And the other helps with women who are exiting sex trafficking, who are victims and recovering from that. All local here in the state. And like I said, all programs and foundations that I am very familiar with. So I know that the money that we'll be donating on your behalf will be put to very good use. And I have goosebumps talking about it. I'm just very, very excited. So if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to give me a call, text, email. I'm happy to share. And in future videos, I do plan on having different people with these foundations on videos with us to help share what their pros and cons of living here are. So, okay, as promised, if I could make a drum roll sound, I would.
Drum roll, please.
What is so unique about the nights here in the Treasure Valley, Idaho? Well, you might not know that our sun sets extremely late. Yes, the days are very, very, very long here in Idaho, especially in the summertime. So there's only 2 other places in the country who have sunsets later than ours. So we're the 3rd latest. One is Alaska. Everyone knows about Alaska, and they have some really crazy, like, sun up all the time, sun gone all the time, some really unique things. I don't know the specifics. And then the other one, believe it or not, is Bismarck, North Dakota. Their sun sets a little bit later than ours. So we're 3rd in the nation, and our days, like I said, are super long. So our latest sunset, I looked it up, is 9:29 p.m., but that's just the sunset. It's not when it gets dark. Apparently, when it gets dark is referred to as the nautical twilight, and our latest nautical twilight that takes place is at 10:52 p.m. So that's when it's officially dark. So what does this mean? It means that if you move to Idaho, it will literally be daylight in the summer until 11 p.m. The days are very, very, very long, which is super exciting to all of us who live here, because we love living here and having long days, because we love to get outside and get after it, go hiking, biking, attend community events. I mean, it's a blast, and the kiddos aren't in school, so why not? I do have some tips, some pros and cons about that. And then, because there's not too much to say about the time of the sunset, I've also included some things on my notes here to go over about our nights in general, some just really cool community events, some things that you can do in the evenings here, and some tips on navigating this daylight situation, because sometimes it can be inconvenient for people, and there are some things that you can do to adjust and help your kiddos adjust better to it. So I'm going to go over all of that, but I'm super curious. Did you know that? Because I don't think a lot of people do. I didn't know when I moved here, and it was pretty unexpected, and it's kind of interesting, really, if you think about it, that the sun doesn't go down until 11 p.m. So if you have kiddos and a certain bedtime is very important, and you just can't imagine them falling asleep when it's total daylight outside, my tip to you is plantation shutters. If you have it in the budget, plantation shutters make the space in the room so dark, especially if you double up and add some blackout curtains to your plantation shutters. So in my studio right here, I have plantation shutters. And as you may or may not know, your room needs to be really dark with one light and a green screen in order to have a nice crisp background. My room is pretty dark, and it's just plantation shutters. I don't even have the blackout curtains up. So in my kids' bedrooms, that's what I have, plantation shutters and blackout curtains, and it works like a charm. Another little trick that is not super common, and I'm sure all of my neighbors, when they see glowing orange and red lights coming out the windows of my house, are wondering why the heck I have red lights coming out of my windows. But there are light bulbs that you can purchase. You put them in your lamps, and they come with remotes, and you can control the color and tone of the lights in your house. So at the time when you want your body to feel like the sun is setting, you just turn the orange and red lights on, and it kind of kicks in your body's rhythm, helps you start to feel relaxed. And I think it works miracles. So if you have little kids and you need them to go to bed, or let's say you get up super early in the morning for work, or you're a night shift worker and you're looking for tricks, I'm telling you, I learned that trick when I worked graveyard at the hospital. For those of you who don't know, I started out my career early on as a nurse, and I worked with underserved population at a trauma center in Seattle, and absolutely loved it. But I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I have always loved real estate and started investing in real estate very young. So I left nursing, and here I am many, many years later. But that I learned when I was working graveyard at the hospital. And let me tell you, it works like a charm. So if you need any more tips, don't hesitate. give me a call. I can help you out with that. But having these long days here in Idaho is super fun. I am going to share something else really important because I know that it's not often that everyone watches the entire video. And I think this next tip that I'm about to tell you is really important, and it does not pertain to the time that the sun sets. So when you move here, you might start to feel like something's going on with your vision at night. And when you're out driving, you'll be thinking, why can't I see? What's going on? Do I need to go to the eye doctor? Well, you might need to go to the ophthalmologist to get your eyes checked. I'm not sure. But if you're like me and everyone else I know that relocated here, the problem isn't you. I have 20/20 vision and I have a really hard time seeing here at night. And why is that? It's because we don't have lights or reflectors on the streets, and it makes it extremely difficult to drive here at night. So more than likely where you live, you've got reflective pucks on the ground in the streets marking the different lanes, and you probably have some street lights. Well, here we don't have that. We use something called reflective paint. It's quite the joke. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard. It is great for maybe all about a day, but the second someone's car tire drives over the reflective paint, it's no longer a bright white reflective paint anymore. In fact, it becomes kind of a moot point. I'm not even sure why they keep repainting the line, but it's pretty bad. And if it's raining here, it's really, really bad. You really, really can't see. So I did some research about the roads, and I actually even made a couple phone calls because it really is quite concerning. And I'm not the only one who feels a little gypped. Like, here we have this amazing state and we're all, hardworking, tax-paying citizens. And then our roads are like, what? Super dangerous at night? It just doesn't seem fair. So I looked this up, and it says between 2018 and 2020, ITD installed solar-powered LED markings, or pucks, and they use them to outline medians, curves, and travel lanes, including State Highway 44, which is a major highway here, and there's always a lot of accidents. But apparently they had mixed results and decided to not put any more down or replace the ones once they were gone. So I've never seen them. And something else that they've tried doing is recessed stripping, where they grind holes into the pavement and then they fill it in with reflective beads. But apparently this is very expensive. And so they've just decided that they're also not going to continue doing that. And we're just going to keep using reflective paint. So if you move here, or if you're thinking of moving here, I would take a drive around at night and see how you feel about it, because it is quite different driving here at night than it is other places. And it can be kind of hard to acclimate to driving at night. I myself avoid it as often as possible. All right, moving into the next thing. What do we have? Oh, back to our really late sunsets. So something that's super, super sweet about that is I think it contributes, and this might not have anything to do with it, it's just a hunch I have. I think it contributes to the fact that it is so safe here at night. So a pro of Boise at night is that we are super, super, super safe. We have actually had a decline in our crime rate over the last year. So while other places around the nation have had significant increases in crime, over here in beautiful Boise, we've had a decrease. So we had an 8% decrease in Ada County and a 5% decrease in Canyon County. And those are two counties here in the Treasure Valley. So I'm referencing places like Boise, Meridian, Eagle, Nampa, Middleton, Caldwell. And I believe that part of the reason why we are so safe is because of those long days. I know most crime occurs at night in the dark, and we have less dark hours than a lot of other places. So I think that's one reason. But I think another really significant reason is we're all patriotic here. We're patriots. We love our nation and we respect our men in blue, and we properly fund our police department. So while everyone else is promoting defunding our police, we're over here supporting our police and enjoying this really safe city that we all live in. And I just think it's pretty incredible because the fact that it's safe and then the sun is setting so late, we get to go out in the evening and safely enjoy our community. So if you do plan on moving here, a lot of people come here and really embrace our slower paced lifestyle. So obviously we all need to work and put food on the table, but out here, people go to work, they get off in the evenings, and then they head out with their family, whether it's hiking, riding bikes, going on walks, attending events. And all of that is possible, not just because of the late sunset, but because of our very safe cities. It's pretty incredible, and it can be a little shocking to come visit and walk around downtown and you don't see any homeless camps. There is a little bit of graffiti popping up here and there, I've noticed, but it gets cleaned up, not super, super quick, but it doesn't last forever. But there's no trash in the streets. It smells very, very fresh and clean outside. And you really do just feel like you can walk around alone and not encounter any trouble. When I lived in Seattle, I used to wear a whistle around my neck in the city. And granted, I worked right in the heart of the city and it wasn't the safest place. But to this day, if I do go back to Seattle to visit, I have my whistle with me. And I have never, ever worn a whistle here in Boise. And the reality is we're an open carry state. Everyone's got a gun. So good luck to the person who decides they want to try and pull something out here in Boise. You just don't really hear those kind of things happening, and it's just not super common. So it's really, really incredible. And I think it's super special to be able to go to the park 8-9 o'clock at night with your kids and let them burn off their energy and come home, close up the plantation shutters and go to bed. It's really neat. Another pro of Boise here is our community events. Because our days are so long and it is so safe, we have a ton of community events. And I really hope that when you come to visit here, or if you decide to move here, that you do get involved with some of those events. So a couple of my favorite ones, Spirit of Boise. If you haven't heard me talk about this one yet, it's a huge hot air balloon festival and it's really incredible. And one night when all the balloons come to the park and everyone gathers around the balloons, they do a night glow spectacular, and all the hot air balloons to the beat of the music that's playing, turn the flames of the hot air balloons off and on. And it's really an absolutely magical experience. I've never met a person who wasn't taken back by it or didn't feel really good after being at the show. So definitely I highly recommend the Spirit of Boise nighttime spectacular. It's a really, really fun one. Another thing that's super fun to do, if you are not familiar with the Basque population here in Boise, Idaho, I think it's worth doing some research. We have the largest population of Basque compared to anywhere else in the country. And the Basque people love music, love dancing, love food. And we have an entire block dedicated to the community, and the block gets shut down. And everyone, all ages, kids, grandma, grandpa, everybody come out and really love being part of the Basque community evening events. Something that I tried, and I'm not a big drinker. I drink maybe 2 or 3 times a year. But when I go to a Basque event, I try. They do half wine and half Coke. And as crazy as it sounds, it's actually pretty refreshing. And that's the Basque beverage of choice. So if you come out, I will buy you a half wine, half Coke. I can't remember the name of it. And here's something kind of unique about the Basque culture, their language is super unique, and they believe in passing history and education on verbally, so they don't write things down. So when you look up Basque restaurants or whatever this drink is called, the wine Coca-Cola drink, it's very hard to read how to pronounce it. It's quite interesting. I'll actually put one of my favorite Basque restaurants here locally in the description below and let you guess how to pronounce it. I'm going to put it in the description, and it's pronounced Chiqui Teo. Guaranteed when you see it down, you're not going to be able to make sense how the name of this restaurant is Chiqui Teo, but it is, and you've got to check them out. They're really good. And this video is not sponsored. I'm just saying, got to check out Chiqui Teo, the Basque community events, Spirit of Boise. Something to keep front of mind. So 4th of July is a huge celebration here, but because the sun sets so late, the fireworks don't start until super late. So I would say that's one of the cons of living in Boise at night, because I haven't been able to take both of my kids out to celebrate 4th of July and watch fireworks with them just yet. And that's something that I would really have loved to have done by now, but it's just so late. And I'm sure if any of you are parents, you could totally relate. It's kind of tough to take your kids out at midnight, after a long day of celebrating, to watch fireworks. But the reality is, if you come here to Boise, those fireworks shows, they don't start until after 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then, so really that means you're not pulling out of the fireworks show until 11:30 midnight. And that's really tough when you have little ones. So I do consider that a con. Back to pros. You've probably heard me talk about BOGUS BASIN before, and BOGUS BASIN is where we can go skiing right here locally when we get off of work. It's a 45 minute drive right up to BOGUS BASIN, and they do offer some twilight skiing, and it is absolutely incredible. One of the most breathtaking experiences for anyone who loves to get out and hit the powder. You've got to go to BOGUS BASIN and do some twilight skiing. Best time to buy a pass is President's Day. President's Day, they always have a sale, and their season passes are significantly less. In the summertime, you can do yoga up at BOGUS BASIN. They have concerts up there, and that's one of the really neat things about the sun setting so late is you can head up to BOGUS BASIN and enjoy community events up there. And it's so beautiful. You can see the valley, and I just can't help but to feel like I'm closer to my creator when I'm up there, and just how much extra time God spent on the Treasure Valley. It is so, so beautiful. So I absolutely love BOGUS BASIN. That's definitely something you have to check out and take advantage of our really long days by heading up there and doing some yoga or going to a concert. Okay, I think that this is my last pro, but let me just take a quick little look. Okay. Oh no, I got 2 more pros. So all the golfers out there, we have incredible evening golf, and you can take a round and then go re-round afterwards. It's super inexpensive. You're looking anywhere from 20 up to maybe, I think $28 is the most I've seen for twilight golf, because that sunset's not setting until so late. You can literally go work a day, go home, eat dinner, and then go out onto the golf course. And we have a plethora of courses to choose from, and many of them offer twilight golf. I mean, why not? The sun's literally up. So I know a lot of people who were really torn between here, Florida, here, Tennessee, here, Texas, here, Arizona. And I've had pretty good feedback from a handful of my clients that said, you know what? I picked right. I chose Boise, and I'm going out and golfing with my neighbors a couple times a week. And I think that's so cool. And I always love hearing stories like that. So my last pro of the nights here in Boise is that it really cools down at night, and you can just pop open your windows, turn off your AC, and let the cool breeze come in. We are a high desert, and we do have a heat wave. And during the heat wave every year, you definitely do not want to turn your AC off. That can get pretty uncomfortable. But most of the year, we just open our windows at night, and the weather is so nice. I do it throughout most of the fall and most of the spring too. So our bills are already much more affordable here. Our cost of living. If you have not watched my cost of living video, I highly encourage you to do that. There are maybe a couple things about it that I need to update. I can't recall everything that I covered, but obviously our country has been seeing some different prices. Biden's president, so I'm not sure until he's out of office how much of that's going to change. But all in all, our cost of living is fairly affordable, or significantly more affordable than a lot of the places. And one of the ways that we make it even less expensive is opening those windows up at night. It's pretty cool. We do have 4 seasons here. They're a mild 4 seasons. So while it snows and snow sticks to the ground, you're not going to get snowed into your house. And while it rains, on the same day it rains, usually there's also sunshine. Fall is absolutely incredible. It's fall here right now, and we've got the best fall activities. Actually, I should put their link in the description to Farmstead. We get season passes to Farmstead every year. It's a huge fall festival in Kuna, Idaho. They're family owned. They do a lot for our community. You guys, it's like fall Disneyland. It is amazing. And I think I can make an entire video on Farmstead. We love going. We've already gone 3 times, and we're just a month into fall. So I highly recommend visiting Farmstead. And then our summers do get pretty hot. We have heat waves. It seemed like this summer felt more hot than most. I would need to look up the statistics. Maybe it was just me, but we do have 4 pretty mild seasons. So pop those windows open at night, lower your bills, take advantage of this beautiful weather that we have here in Idaho. And again, I'm a licensed realtor, local investor here. If you are thinking of moving and you have any questions, whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years out, maybe you're thinking even 5 years down the road, or you need something right away, don't hesitate. Call, shoot us a text, write us an email. We're here to help you. And we love being a resource in any way we can. And if you have any videos that you would like to see me shoot, any areas you would like covered, or any conversations, also don't hesitate and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and any general questions that you have, don't hesitate to leave those in the comments below, because I guarantee that everyone else has the exact same questions on their mind too. Until the next video, be blessed.